YouTube, continuing in Brown Guitar Week. That might not last. I forgot I had this. I suppose this would probably come into one of your what's the best, cheapest guitar to buy if you can find one second hand, the sort of thing you might find in Gumtree or something. Check out Gould. This guitar itself is lovely. Unfortunately, I got it cheap. The guy was sold it from some eBay site that claimed it was, you know, this specialised in vintage Japanese guitars, and this was a vintage Japanese guitar. And, you know, vintage Japanese guitar. It's, I would imagine, probably Korean. I've had a few Goulds before, actually. The wee guy around the corner's got a purple Les Paul, kind of like the I was talking about the other night, the one the girl school girl had, the Vixen, is it called? So it's kind of like a Les Paul shape, but thinner, and it's just got like two knobs on it, just a bit of a less hefty one, basically a much comfier and better design Les Paul. He's got a purple one, and I really like it. I've offered to buy it off him a couple of times. Also, if you look up other Goulds, I did a video on a Telecaster my pal had from Sterling. He'd put a different bridge on it, and he'd put the bridge in the wrong place and made a mess of it, 10 years ago or something. That was one of his first guitars, and he was sitting there thinking, oh, I've got the Mexican Fender now, so it's like, I should really just, could you fix that and I'll sell it? So I fixed it up, but he got it back, and he was like, and he sold the Mexican Fender. Yeah, it was a Telecaster. It was a smashing thing. It was like a turquoise blue thing. It's just that he'd swapped the bridges over, and there's two different types of Telecaster bridge. There's a long one and a short one, and he put the wrong one on, so I made it work, and it was a lovely guitar. This Strat, it's got one big downside here. It looks like someone's been hitting it with a hammer or something like that. Some kid's been poking at it with something. See it there? And it's like, it's a shame because it's actually it's a nice piece of wood. It's obviously not plywood or any sort of veneer, because you can see it goes all the way around there. So it's just like one of those ones you can sand it all the way down, or you can't just paint it. I'm not really sure what to do with it. Maybe it is a veneer, I'm not really sure. It's a lightweight guitar for sure, but it's got the decent tuners on it. The headstock's not super offensive. It's got that nice Jim Deacon-y, maybe from the same factory, Jim Deacon-y gold, vintagey looking glossy stuff on it, which I like. Just box standard. I'm going to shim the neck a little bit, because although the action's actually not too bad just now, these saddles are all fully down, so you've got the grub screws are sticking up, they stick into your hand a bit. So basically if you shim the neck, you can do that. But it's actually quite rare I get a guitar in that played. That was where I always get the guy's name wrong. It wasn't Gordon, Gordy. I'm sure it started with a G or a D. Anyway. But I feel like when I got this in, I played it and went, it's pretty good. Nothing urgently needing really done with it. So that's the neck pickup. I think these are really good pickups, actually. I wonder if these are the original ones. They just seem dead, they're quite low powered. Quite soft. Middle. Enough of that. Number 2. Bridge. demonetized. Sorry, I got interrupted there for a what's in the box? Whoa, yes, kind of know what's in the box. It is guitar related. I think this is from my pal Wayne, I believe. Oh, it's exciting. Tens this time. So, Aria Pro 2 strings, designed in Japan. Not made in Japan, but designed in Japan. So, J-Packs will now be getting fitted with tens, which actually works out better because, as you'll probably know, it's actually easier to set up a guitar to play with thicker strings than it is with lighter strings. Yes, I wonder you could hear, but it was pure thumping in the door. I looked through and there was like a headlight shining in. It was like because he was wearing a head torch. The guy from what are they called now? Every My Hermes, whatever. It's the My Hermes guy anyway. I do quite like him. He was the guy that succeeded. He decided I wasn't in for picking up or getting a Scalextric set delivered, and he put it in the bin. Perfect with a note saying "Don't empty the bin." But yes, fine. Oh, it's a lot lighter than that base is. one frets. Yeah, a really good guitar. This is exactly the sort of guitar I would want to take to parties, because it weighs nothing. I'm gonna have to weigh it, but it's nothing, which is a good thing. Kind of reminds me of, there's certain encores that are kind of a little bit like this, ones that are just, they don't normally have the glossy neck though. Just seem to be uncommonly good. 2.9, so under 3 kilograms. So just at the point where it starts to feel really light, not excessively so. But and I've done absolutely nothing to this. Just came in. It's just a shame it's got these dents in it, which I suppose you don't even really see. It's quite a nice. It's quite a nice version of the burst, kind of like an older one. Doesn't have the second colour in the middle. It's just like black to, it's only a wee tiny red bit. You know, normally it's 3 colours. But I mean, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like it as a Strat. It's got this sort of Stratty sound. It's not too hot. They put in sensible pickups. And look, and it picks up the thin string. Always the test of quality when you're talking about really cheap Strat copies, when the high E just doesn't make a noise like on any of the pickups, because they're just that cheap. But most of the ones I'm not so keen on is because they're too hot output when you're talking about cheap single coils. Well, I'm assuming these are cheap single coils and not upgrades of some sort. But you do sometimes get really good ones, and there's that thing about having quite a sort of vintagey, low outputty, twangy one is what you want, whereas people want hot. So I want to play, you know, heavy metal on it, and that's fine. But I like the sort of vintagey. So you can get the really bell-like things. But that sounds like a Strat, cannot be denied. I'm actually sitting here wondering if I've been I think this has got 10s on it, and the action's not super low. It's acceptable, and I'm actually really enjoying playing with a higher action. I think you get like it's easier to make the notes sound better, if you know what I mean. It's just harder to play it. That's coming in at 1.75. I normally say it's a 1.25, but I'm just wondering how good this guitar's going to be once I've sorted out the stabby things, intonated it, because looking at it, the intonation, there's no way that's right. I have literally I played this guitar when I got it for 10 minutes, and then I'm doing something else. Donny, I think the guy's name was. Hey Donny, Johnny, Don, Don. This is a great guitar. Should I don't need another Strat. So bucket it, J-packs it, just sell it with the dents in it, say it got shot at. That's why it's cheap. But I think whoever got this guitar, assuming it's not tons of work done to it, mind you, if you bought it from a vintage, an actual guitar shop, then they might have actually done quite a lot of work to it. That's why it plays the way it does. Well, no, because you wouldn't have made the bridge like that. But the frets are all really good. It's a really nice neck. It's more Telecaster-y necky than Strato necky, or whatever the Strat necks I'm used to. I can't remember, is it 57 or 62 shape that you get in the Japanese Fenders, the Fender Japan ones, and it's basically the same as what they had on the Roadster, and the same factory. So they'll use the same sort of thinner, more Stratty neck feel than this more Telecaster-y thing. But yeah, totally. If you see a Gould, it's worth going to checking out. On a note of warning though, I did have a Gould, which was to be fair, the guy gave me it free, but because I bought another couple of guitars off him. It was a Wolfgang Eddie Van Halen shaped one, and it had an amazing looking one piece maple neck, and when you put strings on it, it just was absolute chaos. I've still got the neck, it looks straight and perfect, but as soon as you put any string tension on it, it just goes nuts. So maybe look out for that. This one's fine. It's like, but it's just that this was a really really thin maple neck, and I think it was a fault in the wood or something like that in it, or maybe not so much. It's just that the truss rod did seem to work, but I mean, it was like you could totally just move the neck like that. It kind of twisted and stuff. I don't know if the wood wasn't cured properly, or it was just, there is a certain thinness you can go to with a maple neck, and it was beyond that thinness. Gould, not so good if you're in Stargate SG1 though, because they're the baddies, the Gould. Eyes light up with snakes in them. Rocking.